Hello everyone and welcome back to our Chia experiment on our Witness channel. So since yesterday the network is full of people discussing the term obnoxiously entitlement. Somebody who just made a 15 billion fortune 4 weeks ago is talking about others who want to make a few dollars from their investment about being obnoxiously entitled or being stupid. So let's see where we are. Uh, we'll just have a look at the facts first. So this has obviously not changed the growth in network space in any way. So we are at 15 exabyte, 15.7, rapidly growing. We have had added another 8,000 nodes to the network. The difficulty has increased only very slightly, but nonetheless it has increased. So everything is back to normal after a slight disruption yesterday where we had seen a decline in network space for hours. So we were basically back to the 14 at some point, but now we are back to 15.7, which is an increase of 2.5% per day over the last 2 days. Yeah, you can see the number of nodes was 365 on the 31st, and it is 373, so we have an increase in nodes of about 8,000. Leaves us with the coin price, and the coin price is $312 after it tanked to about 650, I think. So we are closer to the 668 is the low within the last 24 hours, which is probably the low for the last 3 weeks or so. And we also have broken the defense line, which is round about here, the 770 mark. So we are going down now to test the 600. I mean, obviously the resistance is there around the 700, but if you look at the graph, if you look at how it's going, then there is not much of a surprise in testing the 600. I would say 600 would be the next line of defense, and then we will see where it goes from there. So now let me have a few words about this obnoxious entitlement. We have started following the Chia experiment in late April. I have been in the Reddits ever since, and I have read a lot of posts, and I'm pretty sure I have made up my mind, and I've read almost everything which is out there. So I have invested around about 80 pounds into Chia over the last 4 weeks, which is basically electricity. I have run 2 nodes in total 24/7 for the last 4 weeks, and we have plotted around about 200 plots, which we have mostly destroyed during the testing process because we have run into each and every error which is documented on the net. And we only managed to have, oh, I didn't even look. Let's have a look into our log file. I think we managed to have it run without any errors for the last 20. Yep, so it is running without any errors for the last 48 hours. Yep, we only have info, not a single error. So we, after 4 weeks of setting up everything, we managed to get it running without any errors. So basically now we are at a point where the network and printing process could run without human intervention, which is basically what the whole project was designed for. So you were not meant to have it a 24/7 full-time job, but it should just run unsupervised. So obviously we didn't win because the number of our plots it's not enough, and we didn't even run the net stable for weeks on end. So we didn't win. Am I disappointed? No, of course not. Our investment is £80 over 4 weeks, which is pretty a reasonable loss, and I don't expect to win over the near future. But what is the whole discussion about? So what I came across on the Reddit was that we basically have a discussion between the really early adopters, which are like this guy here. He says he watched the growth of Chia for a number of years. He has been profited, and he has a very decent position where he says he only he made a lot of, or he made some Chias in the process, and he thinks that it is reasonable for people who join the project and run the nodes to expect some kind of rewards for it. And he doesn't think that the way Bram is handling the situation is helping it in any case. So the early adopters who have made some Chias in the process before the network growth set in, and some of them said they had made more than they would have expected in a lifetime, they would have an advantage about those who joined later, but because of the sheer size of their farms and of the sheer knowledge they had, so they would have they knew how to run their farms, and they had the biggest farms. So they already made some Chia, and if they would have just taken pace with the growth of the network itself, they would have secured their position. So they didn't have a huge interest in getting the pooling on track, because pooling would have taken away their advantage, and they would have had to share their profits. So what they did is they had set up around about 200 to 400 terabyte farms. Sorry, no, of course not gigabyte. They had around about 200 to 400 terabyte farms on the day the thing went live, and then from then on they expected to just get their coins and leave their farms running, and once the newcomers have catched up, they would just add some additional disks and then would keep their profits safe. But unfortunately, network growth didn't go as expected, so even the early birds, which had 200 to 400 terabytes of farms, and if you watch the security video between the head of uh, IT at Chia and their press spokesperson JM. They both have farms between 200 and 400 tera, and even they admitted publicly on the video that their farms don't make any money anymore. Yeah, so there were probably quite a few of them within the Chia community. So the interest in setting up pools wasn't that big for them, but for reason of network growth, they needed people to join the project. So the number of nodes needed to be increased. The price they were not willing to pay was get pooling up on time. So now we have had the situation where the people who came in with the expectancy of making some money, they invested heavily in hard disks. You can watch the videos and equipment as well. You can watch the videos and everything on Reddit and on YouTube. And with an investment of about $10,000, you got around about 30 to 40 hard disks. And now those people who made the network growth possible, so that we have reached 370,000 nodes today, they are left in the cold because this investment of $10,000 with around about 500 terabyte will give you nothing in return. Nothing. Because the network growth has been so overwhelming that people don't make any money out of 500 terabyte anymore. So yeah, this is a situation. How will our answer be? So we have 3 questions. Would I invest in Chia? No, not at the moment. The graph is clearly indicating that there's no prospect for me. Oh, don't take it as an investment for you. Don't make your decisions about what I say for your own. You need to make your own decision. That is just what we think. And obviously the 700 has been an obstacle over the last 24 hours. So there is a resistance here, but I personally don't think the resistance line will hold. So in my opinion, the 600 is the resistance line which will be tested. The lower price for the coin obviously makes the calculations for the people who invested tens of thousands of dollars in hard disks even more even more questionable. So no, my own personal decision at the moment, no, I wouldn't invest in Chia coins at the moment. This second question is, would I still keep the 2 nodes running? Nope, we don't. So we have taken off the server and we are just running the net server with 1 Chia node, and we will just copy all our plots onto 1 hard disk and we will just leave them there. And I don't expect to win with those plots. All I want to do is I want to keep supporting the project because I still think it could be viable if, and that, yeah, I have to say it from the viewpoint of an economist, the only thing what we are watching at the moment is free, unregulated, unfettered capitalism on a race to the bottom. So the obnoxiously entitled person at the top of the chain who has just made $15 billion 4 weeks ago is fighting against the obnoxiously entitled people who invest heavily until they think there is not an extra dollar to make from the 7 million pot a day. So yeah, we will see. At the moment it isn't even 7 million anymore, I think. Yeah, it's almost 7 million. It's around the 7 million. So we have, let's see, 610 times 9,000. 610. We have 610 times 9,216. That's the number of coins every day. No, it's only 6.5 million per day, which is the pot at the moment. So this pot is divided by all the players in the net, and as we can see, the net space is still growing by 0.5 exabyte per day. No, 250, so that is 0.5 over 2 days, so 0.25 exabyte per day. So yes, so we will see how it ends up. I pretty much enjoyed the last 4 weeks, and I will of course still follow the project. And yeah, please like and subscribe. And let's hope that the next 4 weeks will be as interesting as the last 4 weeks has been. And yeah, let's see if we get the pools, if there will be some kind of fair sharing between the people in the project, and that everybody who is in there gets a piece of the cake. And that would be the best of all worlds. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.